the colors as I bring a message to your people. Use me to open the gates of understanding. Ashe. Hello?
Hello?
Let me tell you a story. This is a story that has been told many, many times. This story has occurred in ages past. It will come to pass in the future, and it is happening right now, perhaps to one of you. A woman came awake in the night, disturbed by turbulent dreams. Dreams she did not understand. All that she could say was, strangers are coming, and they are dangerous. The ancestors watched as the strangers arrived, and as their children were taken bodily and resistant, chained up and shackled up, and transported halfway across the world. The ancestors mourned. Some of our children have been taken from us, and some of them remain. We must find ways to divide our attention. But this was not an easy task, even for one as powerful as they. How they mourned when they saw the ways that their children were treated. How sad they were when, due to the conditions the children faced there, they began to forget. Began to forget their ancestors. Began to forget the sacred languages of drum and chant and song and dance. Forget how to forge the connection between this world and the world of spirit. The ancestors keened a soul-wrenching dirge when the white massa presented their children with new things to believe in. A punitive white man, Father Massa, in the sky to watch over them, even when Massa from the big house could not. The ancestors wept as they saw their children change, in fear of Sky Massa's punishment and retribution meted out through Massa in the big house. The children were terrified. They were taken across the sea. They were treated as no human being had ever been treated before. They were made to do cruel and punishing work. They were punished for seemingly no reason. But soon the white Massa explained that according to Big Father Massa in the sky, the children from Africa were the devil. What, they must have said to themselves, is the devil? Oh, the devil looks like you. The devil runs around naked like you. The devil does magic like you. The devil talks to spirits like you. The devil is Eshu. The children were aghast. Eshu, that most powerful of Orishas, who holds the key to access the world of spirits and to all the ancestors. So the space where the ancestors and the Orishas reside must be hell. And so the children, fearful of Big Father Massa in the sky, stopped believing in Eshu, stopped believing in their ancestors. And the ancestors, who had gone to so much to be present for their children, felt themselves shrinking and shrinking and shrinking in power. They were no longer being fed. They were no longer being fed in the languages of drum and chant and song and dance. They were no longer being fed at the altars of their children. They could not maintain their strength. But they did not go away. Oh, so steadfastly did they remain. The ancestors conferred with the Orishas under the Iroko tree. Obatala threw 16 pieces of coconut shell, and Ifa said, there will come a time when the hold that the white man has on the souls of our children will weaken. It will happen one by one, bit by bit, until it becomes a flood that releases our children from their mental bondage and will open the gate for them to know themselves again as people individually and as a people collectively who exist in a world where the material and the spiritual move side by side and support each other. Until then, we remain at the size of our children. We adapt as they adapt, and when they are ready, we will be there. When they are ready, a shoe will appear to lead the way. The ancestors heard and understood the words of Ifa and settled down under a Iroko tree to wait, never giving up. And so for those of their children who were willing to listen, the ancestors appear in their dreams, or whisper in their ear, or leave an omen here or there. And for now, but only for now, it is enough.
Wow.
From my MRP, I did research with women in the GTA who are practicing African-based religion. And these women were all socialized into Christianity and experienced in adulthood a rupture from the Christian church. For everyone I interviewed, this rupture had something to do with gender and sexual identities. Somebody was abused by an elder in the church. Somebody got ostracized for getting pregnant. Somebody discovered within themselves non-conforming gender identities. Somebody else came out as a lesbian. And so for whatever the reason, whether they left or were pushed, a rupture occurred. My participants engaged in seeking behaviors, looking around for something else to fill the gap left by the lack of the social ties, the family ties, and the belief system. Some of them went far and wide trying to figure out what is there for me now. Some people went to Vipassana, some went deep into Zen Buddhism, some people became Wiccan, some went full atheist, Notnsa, somebody converted to Islam. They tried various ways. Eventually, they each experienced an encounter with African-based religions that were based on their unique circumstances for themselves as a person. So the academic self also the conference. And was like, I can learn more about that. Got herself some books. The community outreach worker was invited to an event where there was going to be a drum circle and went to speak with the drummers after about what that meant, so that everybody's path was actually ordained. They got there based on being themselves, based on following that thing within themselves that said, this is who you are, and figure out what that means now. And slowly, they were brought into the fold. As they began to learn more, each of my participants engaged in a process of either formal initiation or deepening commitment to African-based religions. And through that commitment, through that engagement, they discovered and received validations that ended up putting them in service, which is a big part of African-based religion. You have to be in service to community with your spiritual gifts, and also led to personal transformations. So again, the service that they were called to was uniquely crafted for who these people were. Yes? The woman who used to run the church choir and she loved to express through song and performance in a spiritual way, has become a theater artist who incorporates understandings of the orishas and ancestors into her performances. And so she is teaching her largely Afro-diasporic audiences about the orishas and about the ancestors in some nice, gentle ways that they can take in Sola. The academic is doing her work into queer identities within the African diaspora, and she is teaching women's studies. And so bit by bit, she's also bringing this understanding to a wider audience, right? Working against white supremacist threats. And she's also able to engage her students in the ways that our marginalization is also our places of power. When it comes to transformation, this is based on validation of their social identities. Yes, and it is again very, very specific. None will not come by accident. So that you have the person for whom, the genderqueer person who discovered that her head is covered by Oya, an Orisha who is known as the bearded lady, so that she can see that her genderqueer and gender fluid presentation and sense of self is based on the spirits that she walks with, and that don't come from sky, it comes from spirit. It's not random, it's not deviant. It is a part of who she is and how she's meant to walk in this lifetime. So then you have the other person who is also genderqueer, and they found out their head is covered by Obatala, who is known to be androgynous. Yes? And so they're like, well, this is Obatala standing in and with and through me, and I am here on purpose, and I am who I am supposed to be. Then you have a lesbian who she has found out that one of the strongest spirits in her pantheon is a male ancestor who used to be a priest, and he is guiding her she's into women. Her male ancestor was like, get me a wife, right? Her identity is on purpose and is based on spirit, and there's no shaking that. And this is the piece that I would like you all to understand. That by engaging with African-based religions, all of my participants are learning narratives for resisting hegemonic discourses, yes? But they're also receiving narratives for constructing new understandings of themselves and their identities based on African semiotics. For me, I have been brought into the academe. I spent my master's studying spirit possession. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah? Connection, yes, oh, that connection. You don't even believe in Doppy, right? When you are dead, you don't walk around till time comes. You are dead. You know? So it's a very different, but this is where I was led. This has brought me into a journey of learning and growth that has definitely brought me closer to African-based traditions, and has also enabled me to teach others about this. In other words, I am engaged in liberationist, call it academic work, but it's actually spiritual activism. I have gained in doing this work a deep appreciation for African indigenous knowledges. And I would like to stress that we're talking about indigenous knowledges. Our people were indigenous to Africa before they took us and displaced us and then displaced us again. And it is imperative for us to look at our African past as a past that is rich, that is deep, that is fertile, and that is not past. So, the work that I am engaged in is work that will help our communities, people I can reach, to heal from the white supremacist heteropatriarchy. This spiritual work is therefore heavily politicized. I am Black, I am female, I am queer, I am disabled, I am all of those things that within the African world we didn't have to have names for. If I said to somebody, I am covered by so-and-so and I am covered by so-and-so, they would get me as a complete nexus of identity places that is meant to do a work in the world. And so, I face marginalization here under the white gaze, but I am not only what you see before me. I embody flesh and spirit and cannot actually be bounded by any system. I am formed in the imaginations of my ancestors. I am birthed from their struggle, suffered in their crucible, and represent their strength. I am flesh that encompasses spirit and that flows through time. Ashe. And there lies the future of Black liberation. Thank you so much.